invest in and follow principles. That has proved to be pretty successful.
This landlord's gonna make almost $2 million over the next 12 years for doing something one time. And that's like residual. This guy's got another 7 retail spaces and he's got 10 stories of apartments above it. And I'm like, man, I'm on the wrong side of the coin, right? I need to own real estate, not broker it.
You start doing deals that are absolutely life-changing, like that put you on the path for intergenerational wealth.
Welcome to the Real Estate Home Runs podcast. I am your host, Luis Vanderhorst. This is a podcast for busy professionals who want to learn about passive income producing strategies that have helped others crush it in the real estate world. Whether you are a new or seasoned real estate investor, this is the podcast for you. Welcome back to the Real Estate Home Runs podcast, everyone. Today we have a special guest, Steve Nomura. I learned about Steve through a local investor, Robert Sayer, who introduced us. And I was really impressed with Steve. And Steve is really good when it comes to dealing with real estate deals and helping sellers with whatever issues they have. Steve, thank you for joining us.
Welcome.
So tell us a fun fact about yourself and what your background is.
Okay, thank you very much for having me. My name is Steve Nomura. I'm living in Chicago, Illinois. I'm a Japanese immigrant. I came to the United States in 2000. Originally, the purpose to come to the United States is for starting doing some educational activities in non-profit organizations. I was asked to manage a Japanese restaurant in 2003, and I came to Chicago 2003. And since then, I'm living here. And then after I did the restaurant management business for 3 years, I quit. And then I was wondering what to do next. And eventually I decided to do real estate investment business. That was February 2007. Since then, almost 15 years. Yeah, my background is education, 100% sure. I was in the college for 14 years. I was running pretty much a metaphysical subject, like a philosophy, sociology, social thought, and also international relations, and finally theology. But anyway, what I'm doing has nothing to do with the subject I learned in the college. I started this business February 2007, and then since then, it's a kind of long history, but I have purchased 203 properties so far. Then I flipped many, but I still keep 54 rentals, almost all single-family homes, but I have 2 units, 4 units.
Okay. I think it's good that you have that background in sociology, theology, and different courses, because when you're dealing with people, we are in a people's business, and sometimes you don't know what kind of issues you may be coming across. And having, I guess, that background helps to understand people and their situation and be empathetic.
Yeah. Something that helped me in this business is I was consulting so many people, especially young kids, young adults. Therefore, I learned something about consulting, listening to people. That is part of kind of negotiation skills in real estate investment business.
So how did you get started with your first deal?
Yeah, I started 2007. Then if you remember another time, market was so high. And then also people start feeling something happened, and that happened 2008. Therefore, when I started, I was just focusing on wholesaling. And then after market crashed 2008, I was focusing short sale to buy and then wholesaling, right? Therefore, first 3 years, I was doing only short sale, wholesale.
Can you explain what a short sale is for those that are listening and are like, what is that?
Yeah. All right. If property value $200,000, but mortgage is $300,000, nobody paid $300 to buy this house. That value is $200,000. Therefore, we have to negotiate with the bank. The bank approve to pay off the shorter amount than current mortgage balance. It's called short pay off. Therefore, we simply say short sale. From our perspective, short purchase, but from the lender's perspective, short sale.
So pretty much the bank is counting their costs. It's either they let this house go to foreclosure and lose everything, or get something from investors that is fair.
Right. Yeah, because the business of the banks are lending money to make money. To make money by lending money. But if there's a non-performing asset, they cannot make money. And also some kind of regulations, if they have non-performing asset, they have to reserve. Their capital should be 7 times more than total non-performing asset. Therefore, they have to get rid of this kind of non-performing asset as soon as possible. That's why around the time 2008, 9, 10, 11, 12, until 2013 or 14, there are lots of non-performing assets. That's why they want to get rid of those kind of non-performing assets as soon as possible. Therefore, usually when property became in default, and of course, eventually going to foreclosure, the auction, share sale, then if nobody buy it, bank have to take it back. Another time, the bank dumping those properties. Therefore, if we make an offer, even very much low price, most cases they accept it. Okay.
How can someone connect with a bank like that? Because that must be like an exclusive list.
Yeah. Therefore, first you're gonna send the authorization letter. You're gonna call the customer service, and then you're gonna ask which fax number you're gonna send authorization letter. Then usually they're gonna tell you the fax number of the loss mitigation department, or sometimes they say social department. And then you're gonna send an authorization letter by fax. Even these days, they ask us to send by fax. After you send the authorization letter, you're gonna talk with a loss mitigation department, mainly loss mitigation department. Sometimes they have, another time there are two separate departments, no loss mitigation department, also social department, or some big banks are always like that. Right now, maybe one department. And then send all kinds of necessary documents to them. And after they confirm they received all necessary documents, the next step is they're going to send the appraiser. It's called BPO, Broker's Price Opinion. Most cases, they are local real estate agent. They're going to come to take pictures, send the evaluation, very simple BPO report, evaluation appraisal report. And that's a very important factor to finalize social deal. That's why that's a part we have to meet. We have to talk with the BPO, the property. And then if BPO value comes in, our price, most cases, then they accept our offer. And then we can close a deal, maybe within the next 30, 40 days.
Okay, so that's around the same time as another transaction, 30 to 45 days. So it's not delayed several months or longer.
Yeah, most cases, they're going to send us short sale approval letter. And then we have to talk so many things about this letter, but most cases, they're going to give us 30 to 40 days to close. Now, of course, for some reason, if you cannot close, you can request extension. Mostly that allow you to have another 40 days or so. Then short sale should be cash deal. Therefore, if you got approval, you have to have the money. If you don't have money, you just make some reasons and then request some extension. And then you can prepare money and then close the deal.
Or connect with some private lenders or hard money lenders. Yeah.
Right.
And you mentioned that you have experience in flipping also, and you have some rentals for yourself. What would you advise people that are on one extreme or the other? Why is it important to have those two sources of income? Because one is really active, the flips, and another one is passive.
Yeah, I did lots of flip. Then in the very beginning of my fourth year, I had the first rentals. In the fourth year, I had the 6. And then fifth year, another 12. Then fifth year, another 12 rentals. Altogether, I got the 30 rentals by the end of 6th year. And then at the same time, I was flipping almost same amount of properties. If you do flipping, you're going to recognize you have lots of unexpected expenses, or in many cases, contractor use more money.
Yeah.
Even you expect it to make $30,000, $40,000. Eventually your profit is around 10 grand. Anyway, always like this, right? And then if you do flipping business, until you sell, you don't make money, because sometimes it takes 3 months. That's the shortest. Most cases, 6 months, 1 year, and sometimes more than 1 year. My longest rehabbing is 2 years and 6 months. Then for what I'm saying is you have to have an asset. As Robert Kiyosaki says, you have to have an asset to produce cash. But also same time, cash flow is very small. We have 5 different wealth building components. We often say 5 wealth building component is cash flow, capital gain, equity building by appreciation, equity building by principal pay down, then tax benefit. Those are 5 wealth building components. If you look at those 5, buy and hold strategies. If you hold rentals, you have all of them, 5 of them. Then if you see the flipping business, you have only 1, that is capital gain, right? That's why if you look at the long-term perspective, you should have rentals, but same time, Rentals has a very small cash flow. People believe, okay, if you receive $2,000 rental income, people might think, oh, you are making $2,000. Actually, no. Okay. National average of cash flow is about 10%. Yeah, about 10%. If you look at the 2-3 year span, you're gonna spend so many expenses. If you have a big problem, you're gonna spend 5,000, 10 grand, and then your yearly income, yearly profit is gone. Therefore, you have to see from the long-term perspective to hold rental property. Of course, we are not doing this business expecting appreciation like a bonus, but eventually you have lots of equity because of the appreciation, because of the principal pay down. Then you can get, these days, the interest was so low. Therefore, if you get refinanced with the cash out, you can keep lots of money. And including all other aspects, those 5 aspects, definitely rental business is the most important part in this business to create wealth. But at the same time, as I said, until you have big cash in your bank, okay, just cash flow is very, very small. That's why you should flip the property and then get $30,000 by flipping property. And then you can make a good balance. Therefore, I always suggesting new people, you should do both, not just rental business. Rental business has a huge risk. Maybe we don't have time to talk right now, but the rental business has a huge risk. Therefore, I always suggesting if you don't have any money, for example, like a at least $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 in the bank account, you shouldn't do rental business. Once you have a bad tenant in the house, of course, I had that maybe extreme bad tenant is only one, but I had that several bad tenant in my 10 years rental business. You're going to lose lots of money because of this. You should have a certain amount of cash reserve in your bank account. At the same time, you're going to flip and get cash. Then you can make a good balance in this business.
Mm-hmm. And for those of you wondering, appreciation can happen without you doing anything, just based on demand in your area and that increasing housing prices up. Or you can do what's called forced appreciation, where based on certain repairs, you can increase the value of the house.
Right.
Someone shared with me this, Steve, and I thought it was like really good. And it's that like, why does the rich keep getting richer and the poor keep getting poorer? And it's that the rich buy income producing assets that because of appreciation keep increasing in value. Whereas the poor, they're not, and inflation also, affecting that. The poor is not buying income producing assets. And every year the value of the dollar is going down.
Right, exactly. Yeah, as Robert Cusick says, okay, government are printing papers, notes, the value goes down every year. You should have another type of asset to keep your money, right? Therefore, definitely we're gonna buy asset, real estate or some other asset, maybe gold, maybe silver. That's much wise, not just keeping the money in the bank account. That's the worst thing to do.
Yeah, you're actually losing money by just keeping it in the bank account.
Money. Inflation is serious these days. Therefore, even you have such a big appreciation, substantial appreciation is way low, maybe a little bit more than 1-2%, maybe less than 2% is a real appreciation. Average appreciation for last 60 years is, my calculation is 5.3%. That's a natural appreciation, average natural appreciation, especially last 10, 15 years, there's lots of inflation. Therefore, real appreciation is maybe a little bit over 1%. That's a real appreciation.
Wow. And are there certain criteria that you look for when you decide like, oh, this will be a good rental and this will be a good flip? How do you determine that?
Yeah, and that's a great question. These days, okay, last several years, my focus is keep the property as much as possible.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I'm still doing big rehabbing project. Even now, I have 2 big rehabbing projects. I'm spending almost $300,000 for one project. Then, by the way, I don't want to do anymore. Okay. My criteria is this. Maybe you know that we're gonna buy in cash or we're gonna buy in terms, right? Either way, we're gonna buy properties. Then focus as an investor, our focus is, of course, we can say profits or a nice property, but our focus is a return. Okay? How we can get higher return. That is the focus. To get the higher return or to get the infinite return, okay, you shouldn't use your money. Okay? You should use your money as less as possible, hopefully zero. You can get the infinite returns, right? To do that, even you use your money, you have to get all money back from other people. Most cases, okay, these days, money is so cheap. For my criteria is this, okay? If you buy, and if you put more money to fix or update, and then after repair value, total amount to purchase and rehab should be 70% of the after repair value. Then the reason is after repair value, let's say $200,000, you purchase $100,000, then you spend $50,000 to rehab. Then right now after repair value is $200,000. In this case, 150 is a 75%. Therefore, I have to have 220 or 230,000 after repair value, so that you can use not the regular commercial bank, but these days lots of money available. You can use 70% loan to value, then refinance, then all cash out, or you're gonna pay your private lender's money back with the interest. Yeah, that's the most basic formula or the criteria when I buy a house. Then if you flip right now, if I flip within, I don't want to do any big rehabbing right now. If I do flip, it should be very, very cosmetic work within maybe 2-3 weeks, maybe max 1 month, and I'm gonna finish the work, sell for the profit. If I make 50 grand, maybe I might flip. I try to want to keep as much as possible. But if I have that kind of amount of profit, maybe I might flip. But as I say, I did enough flipping. That's why I try to keep as much as possible.
Yes, I just got my attention because lately I've been hearing a lot of people sell, wanting to get out of the holding, especially they got afraid with what happened last year with the lockdown and things like that. And they started picking up on the flipping because you go in, do what you need to do, sell it. But it makes sense to keep them, especially with now, like there's a shortage of houses all across the nation. So that's just going to keep causing the prices to increase in housing. Yeah.
I don't believe, market is going to be crushed. Therefore, market is going to be adjusted. Of course, last several years, 15% or 18% appreciation. That's insane. Market should be adjusted after everything became much more clear. Forbearance is almost over in October, November, and then we can see, more clearly how many percentage of the people who were forbearance facing pre-foreclosure, foreclosure, right? And that's a small percentage, but still that affects to the market. Right now, I bought 2 show sales last 1 month, and for maybe that kind of foreclosure deals is coming more to the market much more than before. Then maybe, market is going to be adjusted, but not crushed. Therefore, I'm not afraid. I know quite a number of my investor friends are selling lots of rental properties, and I'm not selling. Depend on your financial situations. Of course, I always say a triangle. Your financial situation is at top, and then market situation, also condition of the property. Your condition of property is okay. Your financial situation okay, and then even market is very high. You don't need to sell. Your financial situation is really bad. You need the cash. Then your property condition is good. You can sell immediately. Maybe you can sell to get some cash, right? Therefore, you have to consider those 3 aspects if you sell or you're going to keep.
I like it. So that's your personal financial situation, the condition of the property, and the market.
Right. Always you got to consider, especially your financial situation is a crucial factor. If you keep your rental property more than 10 years and try to sell, maybe you have to put some money and then make it a bit nicer and sell, right? Therefore, I have 54 rentals, but still small, but I have 8 or 9, the lease option. If I put some money and make it nice house, my first option is always lease option. And those people taking care of the house as if they are owner, because they're thinking to buy this house in the near future. Therefore, they are taking care of the house very nice. And of course, not 100% to exercise option to purchase, but maybe 50-50. And they are exercise option to purchase. If they are not exercise option, of course, sometimes they're going to change the regular lease, or sometimes they are moving out. But property condition is pretty good. Then I'm going to do same lease option again. If I sell lease after I fix the house, let's sell for the profit using lease option, minimum $100 profit in 2-3 years.
Okay. And how do you structure some of these lease options? Is it enough to cover the mortgage and then some on top to go towards the total balance that the tenant is buying at the end?
Lease option can be used for purchasing or can be used for exit strategies. I mostly use lease option as an exit strategy right now. Therefore, if I buy a house, even in cash or seller financing type thing, my first option is lease option. Lease option means rent. Sometimes people call rent to own. Therefore, usually they're going to keep the house as a rentals for 1 year, 2 year, 3 years. In my case, I'm going to give 2-year lease means they have 2 years option period. Within 2 years, they have to get the loan approved. Then they can buy this house from me. There are some legal issues, but let's say fair market value $200,000, and then those people, these option tenant buyers, in my word, they are motivated buyers, right? There are lots of motivated buyers out there because, yeah, if you sell the house, in cash or loan upright, you have to go through MLS, okay? Then automatically you have to pay
A commission.
Yeah, commission, and also in Chicagoland area, almost 100% buyer request closing cost credit. Maybe starting with a 5%, eventually that reduced to 3%. Therefore, 6% commission, 3% closing cost credit, and then 9% is gone. If you sell for $200,000, your real sales price is less around $180,000, right? Therefore, you're gonna lose lots of money if you sell upright. Because qualified loan buyer is very small number in the market. Therefore, you have to put property on the MLS to get that approved, the pre-approved loan buyer. But if you deal with the lease option tenant buyer, people don't know so much about this. Lots of people who has money, but they are not approved for the loan, right? In my case, I just put property on the market, okay, using my own website or Zillow, Trulia, Facebook. If you put this option, property on the market, immediately so many people responding. Therefore, those people are so-called motivated buyers. Okay, in a sense, they don't care how much they're gonna pay for. Okay, they don't care how much they're gonna pay rent every month. They're gonna say yes. In most cases, they're gonna say yes. Therefore, usually I'm gonna put not so high, but maybe at 5% or sometimes 10% more than fair market value. And then rent is also a little bit higher than regular rent. Then they're gonna take care of the house very nicely. Then 1 year later, 2 years. In my case, every year my sales price, option price goes up by 5%.
And those people have enough time too. Like you're giving them time to come up with the total sum at the end.
Exactly. That's right. That's right. The most important thing is I don't need to take care of the house at all. Okay. Of course, if there's a structural issues, roof is blown away by the storm, okay, and maybe that's in my responsibility, but it's very rare. Most cases, I don't need to take care of the house at all. Even those 7, 8 lease option tenant buyer in my property right now, I didn't get any phone calls. My son didn't get any phone calls. We didn't get anything. Therefore, just keep it. And then 1 year later, of course, we're gonna send monthly letter to them. We don't ignore them. I'm gonna send, especially the water bill. We are sending water bill to them. Then we're gonna give some kind of short letter to them. Therefore, we are communicating. But other than that, we are not doing anything for those properties. Then right now, this option tenant buyer is now in the process to get the loan approved. They're gonna buy. Then maybe by the end of January, maybe we will close this deal. And that's a big profit. My liability, my loan is less than $150,000 because I bought this house 5 years ago, and then I kept this house for 5 years for lease option. Then eventually, this option tenant buyer exercise option. My option price is $303,000.
And it's good to have that in mind that you can buy through a lease option and sell through a lease option, as long as you're not in a rush to buy or to sell, which hopefully we never find ourselves in those situations.
Right.
Take a little spin here. I think it's impressive how you have involved your family in your business, your son, your wife. And I think you're also building like a community of investors and providing education. You want to share some about that?
Yeah.
In case anybody wants to learn more.
Yeah, this is a family business, okay, 100% family business. My wife used to be an accountant in Japan for many years. Therefore, after I started business, she became an accountant. Therefore, she's a full-time accountant. That's a great help.
Oh, yeah, great asset.
Yeah, huge job. Okay, she's at the desk whole day long.
My wife, her dad is a financial planner, and she brings that knowledge here. She says to me jokingly, "Oh, you couldn't afford me, so you married me." I'm like, yeah.
My eldest son, he's agent, also leasing agent too. Until I think 5 or 6 years ago, I was managing everything by myself. Then my son, I asked my son to get the license, and he did it because I was flipping lots of properties. Of course, I have to use somebody to sell. Then I calculate how much I pay. As a seller, I have to pay commission, right? Not the buyer. I have to say commission. Then I calculate, I pay more than $500,000 to those agents to sell, right? I asked my son to become an agent, and then when I sell the house, I'm selling to my son, and I can
Nice.
keep, my son can keep half of the commissions.
It's a win-win.
Right. And then my son is basically taking care of all of my rentals right now. I used to do by myself, and then I created my manuals, property management manuals. Then I worked with my son, and then taking several years, and he learned most of it. And right now he can do most of the property management by himself. And then my second son, he is now in charge of production. Production means many things. Okay, we have to generate leads, right? Therefore, we have to send the letters, postcards. Then also we are creating advertisement on the Facebook, several websites, and also making YouTube channel in Japanese and English. And those are
so that's your market, to market to Japanese and English.
right. And I have 230 or 240 videos in Japanese, and then English is now catching up the English, but it's still a small number. I don't think so many, but still maybe 50, 60. I mean, I'm adding more. Okay, that's a part of, when I talk with the owner, okay, they're asking who you are, who are you, right?
Yeah. How do I know you're not going to scam me?
What I'm doing through Facebook or through YouTube channel and also website. Okay, website is basically for credibility purposes. Okay, these days people are not coming through my website at all. They're just showing. I just put some articles, videos in my Facebook, and then people see what I'm doing. And when I meet the owners, how can I? This is my website. This is my YouTube channel. And people go there. Then some testimonies in there. Then people see, oh yeah, understood what you're doing. That's my second son's responsibility. Okay? And also, as you said, I'm doing lots of activities to build a community. And I associate with several organizations, but mainly when I started this business, right now I'm associating with a company called Renatus, R-E-N-A-T-U-S. That's a company I learned from most. Then that company allowed me to build a community. There are many people coming through this company are looking for somebody to work with. Therefore, I am sharing lots of experience, knowledges I have through this community. Okay? Therefore, every Wednesday, Thursday, Sundays, I'm sharing maybe at least 2 hours a time. This is my community building activities. The purpose of this is not just sharing. Of course, sharing my knowledge experience is a benefit for them. Also, they are excited, they are motivated to do more business, and then they are bringing more deals to me, and we are working together. Sometimes I'm going to close a deal as my property. Sometimes we are working together, we are closing together and share the profit. Therefore, if I build a community like this, I can get more deals. Okay? That's why I'm investing my time and the effort to build a community.
Awesome. I ask every guest to share 3 things that have helped them hit real estate home runs in their career. What are 3 tips that you would share with my audience?
Okay, my number 1 tip, of course, maybe people already know it. We often say you're gonna make money when you buy, right? You have to buy right. How are you gonna buy right? That's the most important question for me. And then I try so many methods, so many ways to generate leads. And then my best method I'm using even today, every day, referral. Okay.
Gotcha.
So many different type of referrals. My number 1 referral is agent referral, starting with their warm contact, a friend's referral. Okay.
Do you give those agents like an incentives for bringing you those deals, or if you go to sell, you list with them?
Yeah, of course. And agent referral, mortgage brokers referral, real estate attorney referral, and even real estate attorney. Those are regular agent closing attorneys, sometimes eviction attorneys. And also I use probate attorneys and the divorce attorneys. Referrals the best, and then you don't have any competition, especially this kind of market, very expensive market, and then very strong sales market. Once property comes to the market, huge competition. Yeah, you don't get a good deal in this kind of market. Therefore, if you get the property through referral, almost no competition. You can get it, right? If you say, I agreed with certain price and terms. My number 1 advice is just make connection. Okay, this is my activities all the time, even today, to make a connection and then get the referral from those people, especially property real estate professionals. As I mentioned, agent, mortgage brokers, attorneys, even title companies. And then this is, I don't know, people might cannot really believe it. I get so many referrals from the junk removal company. And then also inspectors, appraisers, anyway, all kind of real estate professionals. You know, we can waste your relationship. Whoever you meet, okay, you're gonna introduce yourself, and then you're gonna say, I need your help. And then if you know somebody who is looking to sell the house, can you refer to me? I'm gonna pay you. Maybe you can say $500 or $1,000, whatever you want. And they are motivated to refer to you. Of course, you have to keep relationship with them, therefore sending email, text message, and then remind them you are looking for more property. Then maybe you're gonna get the home run, 1, 2, 3 a deal a year. Okay, this is how I get the huge home run in the past. Okay.
Awesome. That's really good. And some people forget that sometimes the people around you are the ones that have connections or even relatives that are struggling and could use, because who wants to have bankruptcy on their record or foreclosure on the record? And if an investor is able to come in and buy their property at a fair price, now it's a win-win for everybody. Awesome. Yeah. So how can people stay in contact with you, learn about what you're up to?
Yeah, okay, maybe the email, a text message, the best, steve@tphousingsolutions.com. steve@t like a Tom, P like a Paul, housingsolutions.com. Or my number is 773-255-5937. If you type Steve Nomura, Nomura on the Facebook, you can see me immediately. There are several Steve Nomura in the United States, but all other faces are very young. Therefore, you don't.
Very young, yeah. Yeah. Hey, thank you so much for being here and for sharing so much wisdom with me and my audience. It was good.
Welcome. I'm so happy to be here.
We hope you enjoyed this interview and got some value out of it to help you in your real estate investing journey. If you can take just a minute, please do us a favor and leave a review. Hit the like button on iTunes or whatever platform you listen to our podcast on, and subscribe so you can hear future episodes. Also, don't forget to check out our Real Estate Home Runs Podcast Community Facebook group, where you are able to connect with some great listeners. If you're an investor who is crushing it and want to share some information centered around passive income in real estate, please contact us. Hit those home runs, and we will see you next time.